There is a couple major trends I notice when it comes to people struggling with content. One of them is, a lot of it is mindset. Okay. Just people don't have the mindset to stick with it. They try one thing, post one post, post two posts, post three posts. There is no instant gratification here, especially when you're starting out from scratch. You don't have an idea what you're doing, so they just fall out because they're not consistent enough and they don't stick out with it long enough.
So how do you set that mindset frame for your clients when you start, or for businesses that you coach, or what is the mindset?
I do have a mastermind with a bunch of students that I coach, and I always tell them, like, your first 100, 200, 300, 500 posts are gonna suck.
Okay.
And the quicker you get through the repetition of getting these posts out of the way, the quicker you're gonna get on the other side and start being more successful, right? So you gotta get through the suck like everything else. I told you the same thing when we started the podcast.
Yes. Yes, we're definitely better. We're like... We've
20 plus episodes in, 17 released, and you can see, if you watch episode 1 and you watch episode 20, such a big difference. And that's only 20 repetitions. Imagine 100, imagine 1,000 repetitions, like it's a muscle. The more you train it, the better you're gonna get.
Right. And officially, I'm your client in so many ways. I am your client. We're clients and partners in a way. And I see that one of the things you liked was that when I set out this original project, I told you I am committed to doing 100. And I think that's why you really resonated to working with me, because you're very selective on your clients. I know that. And I'm very grateful that I had the mindset, right? So that would be the mindset. So let's just resume it in a few key points. So get through the suck. What else? What other things?
Get through the suck. Learn. Another thing I always tell to my students is, good content creator is a good content consumer. And I'm not saying about like scroll all day, watch people dance on TikTok. What I mean by that is, analyze the content you're watching. You're following people, people that you like, people that you aspire to be like these people, right? Watch them and analyze their content. Figure out what makes them good, was that a good hook? Was that a good story? Was that, like, when you see a video that got 5 or 10 million views, figure out why it did get that 5 or 10 million views, just be purposeful when you're watching the content. Don't just like go through it mindlessly and scroll like most people do, right? Analyze it, figure out what makes it work. What was it? A visual hook? Was it a spoken hook? Was it text hook? Was it the story that made it good? Was it the call to action? Like, what piece of that content made it go viral? Once you start figuring this out, you almost kind of like reverse engineer it and start applying that into your content.
To your own lab.
Yeah.
That's great. So let's break down what makes a video go viral right now in 2025.
I mean, for me, it's always been the story. Like, if you have a good structured video and a good story to tell, people are going to watch it. Even though, like, there is millions of trends, like you see people stitching videos to, like, videos with accidents. That's, like, what's modern right now and what's trendy. The trends are always going to change, but what's going to stay for me is the good story, right? If you have a good story video, video that tells a good story, you are almost guaranteed to succeed. Doesn't really matter the editing, doesn't really matter the all the details, the technical minutiae, right? If the video is good, it's gonna go. If a video is bad, no amount of editing or any post-production process can fix that. And also being relatable, right? You need to be able to bring emotion out of people. The best video for Nicolina is it got 5 or 6 million views. That's her best ever video. Was her doing her makeup on her birthday in the bathroom, and I walked in not knowing that she's recording, and I was like, "Hey, babe, how can I support you?" And all the chicks on the internet went crazy because apparently they don't have husbands that support them, right? So it was very relatable. Like, you go through the comments, it was like, 5,000 comments on this video. Like, all the chicks, "Oh my God, where do I find a husband like this?" Like a little ad for.
Let's have that like interlay it into the editing, man. When I'm doing this is live, it's gonna be fire.
Yeah, but it's you need to be able to bring that emotion out of people, wherever that emotion is. Tell a good story, be relatable, bring the emotion. You're gonna succeed. Okay. I can guarantee you that.
So the story is just one part of your famous framework, that's hook, story, solution, and call to action. How does that work?
Well, it's really simple. It's technically psychology. The hook, you need the hook. You need the first 1, 2, 3 seconds of the video to be attention grabbing. You need to stop the scroll because people are, again, they're on their phones for hours. Just keep going, hitting that next dopamine hit, right? And you need to be able to stand out to stop the scroll, for them to grab their attention and tell them, hey, you need to watch this. Whether you can do it with visual hook, you're doing something, you can do it with something written on the screen, you can do it with something you're saying, you can do it with some type of music or sound, whatever it is, or sometimes it's a combination of all of these elements, but you need to be able to stop the scroll because the story comes right after, and no matter how good your story is, if nobody hears it, the video is not going to perform, because nowadays the platforms are watching for watch time. They want to be, that's the biggest metric right now, it's watch time. Like if you get people to watch 100% of your video, it's gonna go viral. So you need to get that stop scrolling hook to get them to watch the rest. And then it comes the story. That could be, again, personal story, business story, some experience from your life, whatever that story is, or even maybe not from your life, from somebody else's life. You can just tell a good story. But the story is like almost like you're hardwired to hear a story, right, in your brain. Like this is, I'm not sure if you ever ridden on the bus and there's people behind you talking about something.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, this is a good story. I want to hear more about it, because 200 years ago, there's no TV, radio, social media. None of that shit was there. People, what to do? They'll sit at dinner or around the fire or whatever, and they'll tell stories, And this was going for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So it's almost like a hardwire in your brain. When you hear a good story, you want to hear more of it. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit maybe some other time or later, but I read a book right now, and the guy made the experiment with people, telling them a little bit of suspense of how the story starts to grab their attention, right? You create that suspense. And he told them he's going to tell them the rest of the story if they let him burn their hand a little bit. And like 90% of the people were willing to go through the pain. It was a mild pain, not like anything crazy, but like to go through the pain to listen to the story.
To get the payoff.
And the story was no relevant whatsoever. Like it wasn't like anything that's going to give them money or any type of other reward than just hearing the end of the story.
And the dopamine hit, like you mentioned, right?
Hit. And that's where, after the story, that's why we need to have a solution. A lot of people will miss that part. And when they structure their video, there is no solution at the end. So people just watch it and they don't hear the end of the story. They don't get the dopamine hit. So they're not going to follow you. They're not going to be, oh, I want to learn more about this guy or this girl or this business, whatever it is, right? So that's why you need to have the hook, which stops the scroll, the story, which keeps them watching, and then the solution at the end that gives them that dopamine hit and gives them a breakthrough or some type of realization, some type of like mind change again, like so they can go through that whole process and they want to hear more of it. So they go to your profile and they're like, oh, this guy's good. I want more of this, So that's, and then the call to action at the end, again, this is more business related. You want to tell them what to do, excuse me, it's optional. It's not like you need to have it, but people are, that's not going to sound good, but people are like sheep, right? Yeah. You got to steer them and tell them what to do. So if you don't tell them what to do, most of the time they're not going to do it. So if you want to sell them something, or if you want them to click in your link, or if you want them to DM you or comment, you just tell them, man. Like, it's that simple, Sometimes if people are afraid to be salesy or whatever it is, but you got to tell people what to do, and they'll do it most of the time.